My name is Matthew Ayulo. I am the CEO and co-founder of Scalp Micro USA, and I am a scalp micropigmentation artist. I got into this about 11 years ago, and scalp micropigmentation is a form of cosmetic tattooing to restore the look of a short buzzed hairstyle and add density into thinning hair. So what you see happening here is we're using, I believe this is an Andes T outliner, and we're just buzzing this hair to a very short length so that it's going to appropriately match the SMP, the pigmentation that we're going to do throughout the top of this client's head. What's happening here is one of the more fun and artistic parts of what we do, which is designing the frontal hairlines. And so what we're doing here is we're using just a simple white eyeliner type pencil to mock up different hairline styles. We'll usually have a good chat with the client about what they're hoping to achieve. Do they want something very bold and youthful and clean cut, or do they want something maybe a little bit more mature? And we can offer, a variety of different styles and shapes. Obviously, some of the things we look for, we want to keep the hairline at an appropriate height. If you want to do a quick test at home, usually making 4 fingers and placing the bottom finger right above the nose bone in between your eyebrows, and then making a marking kind of above that 4th finger. That's a quick little benchmark we use. Also having the client raise their eyebrows. Here you're seeing a profile view of a client, and that's important metrics that we use as well. If we were to draw a 90-degree line up from the interior of the sideburn, so the part of the sideburn that's closest to the face, that's a typically good benchmark of where we want to place that top temporal point, which is where the top hairline meets the profile. And then we want our profile line to have an angle. I always say around like an 80 to 85 degree angle. What makes a good hairline is really just the placement and the style, and also the implementation, making sure that it's not too sharp, that we're not just tracing the line verbatim so that it's, this harsh kind of abrupt cutoff. We want to make sure that it looks like what would happen in nature. The ink that we use for our procedures at Scalp Micro USA is Follicule, and it is a type of carbon black pigment that we have mixed and diluted to a certain ratio depending on the client's natural hair color and tone. So the cool part is we have essentially 26 different shades or strength of shades that we can use. And that's good because, again, we're getting all walks of life in here, all different races, all different ethnicities, all different ages. So we're able to really adapt that pigment to meet the requirements of each client. A big part of the tools we use is obviously our handpiece. That's our tool, that's our pen. In there, we'll insert a microneedle. Most practitioners use what we call as a 3-round liner. The depth level that we go into the skin is actually pretty shallow. We're going about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters into the skin. So we do this with a certain spacing. We don't want to cluster these follicles too close together on a particular session because we want it to heal properly. We want the dots to shrink down, which they will after each session. And we want to leave space for subsequent sessions so that we can get in between to add more density and fullness without causing clustering or migration or any of those things that you may see with sometimes older tattoos. We want to ensure that this heals appropriately and heals pixelated so that you get that look of tiny little buzz cut hairs. The key to SMP is making sure that the pigmentation and the real hair work together exactly as they should, so that there's no seams and that there's really almost impossible to tell the difference of what the client's real hair is versus the pigmentation. And that's what makes this really real. And this will occur a few times. This will occur, 2-3 sessions, each session adding a bit more density into the scalp so that you get that full look. The cool part is you see an immediate result. With this, even after one session, the client's going to see a pretty big difference to their face and to the color on their scalp. And that's what makes this really fun for us, whether it's tears of joy, whether it's holy curse words being thrown. It's a big moment. And that makes it super worth it for us, because not only are we producing something in this world and giving a service, but we're giving a service that actually works and brings joy to someone. So yeah, we get super pumped about that.